What in the world? Yo, this video's dog shit. I can't believe my friend would make such garbage content. Overwatch? Come on, dude. That shit's not popular anymore. Oh my god. Oh, Mr. Mannequin Man. You know, it's been a long time since I've seen you. What's brackin', bro? How you living?
Silence. I'm not here to give you a warm welcome. I'm here to exact my revenge on you.
Revenge? Dude, are you still upset I chucked Fester's quest in your face like a year ago? Take your fucking game back. Fuck you, mannequin. Did it really hurt that bad? I doubt a plastic cartridge can hurt you since, you're made of, wood.
That's not it. I gave you that game as a gift, and yet you called it trash and chucked it back in my face like I was a trash can. And that got me really upset. So I came up with a plan that day. I decided to hire some help. I found a site with assassins for hire. I didn't have a ton of money, and not thinking you were a huge threat, I hired Drake to take care of you. I had faith in the man because of him constantly spouting at everyone who knew his name, whispered it in fear. But after seeing you complete Drake of the 99 Dragons and winning the duel against him, I knew I didn't put enough faith into that guy. He failed me and my $50. And for that, I will never forgive you.
Dude, you practically live in my closet. You watched me play through the game. You should have known that Drake was going to be an incompetent assassin. He dies like 10 times in the story.
Enough about that moronic fool. I've decided to come up with my own idea of taking you down. Take a look inside of this box here. I got you a gift that will hopefully make you crack.
Oh, another gift? But when did this get here? Dude, you got me sandals? Hey, thanks, man.
What? No, not the sandals. Under them.
Oh, no. Another game. Hey, you Pikachu. Really? I mean, this doesn't seem that bad. It's Pokemon. How bad could it be? Great. I don't like that laugh. Pokemon. What's there to say about Pokemon that hasn't already been stated before? It's the highest grossing media franchise in the world, mainly thanks to all the merchandise it produces, consisting of video games, toys, TV shows, clothing, food, porn. This franchise is everywhere and has been popular since its inception in the 90s. Hundreds of different creatures you can raise through battling is of course going to be a huge thing. When it comes to Pokemon games on home consoles, for the longest time they always housed the spin-off titles. It wasn't until the release of Sword and Shield in 2019 where we got a proper title on the console. The closest games we had before that were Colosseum and XD on the GameCube. But let's take it back further, into the 90s where the Pokemon hype skyrocketed. Nintendo's main home console during that time was the good old N64, which contained 5 Pokemon titles. The most popular ones were probably the Pokemon Stadium games. It was the first time seeing all the Pokemon in a 3D environment. For the time, it was impressive. Even today, it still holds up. The Pokemon in this game have more animation and expression in comparison to Sword and Shield. Alright, I'll stop bashing Sword and Shield. I do it a lot. There was also Pokemon Snap, an on-rails game where you snap photos of Pokemon doing Pokemon things. There's also Pokemon Puzzle League, which I never played. And finally, this video's topic, Hey You Pikachu, a virtual pet simulator. Well, in my eyes, it's more of a virtual friends simulator. The game is about making friends with a wild Pikachu by helping it with activities, playing games, etc. You do this all with the power of your voice. Yeah, this is where the little quirk of the game gets introduced. This right here is the VRU, or the Voice Recognition Unit. It's a fancy name for a microphone you stick inside of a box you plug into your console. Only 2 games on the entire N64 ever used this thing. The only other game was a Japan exclusive game where you simulate driving a subway train. I don't know how to pronounce this game, so I'm not even going to attempt it. I've always heard bad things about this game, mainly due to the microphone never correctly reading your voice. I've never tried it out for myself until recently, so how does it hold up? Let's find out. Well, I can't say I'm too excited about this. Dude, are you really gonna stand here and watch me play through this whole game?
Of course. I can't have you run away like a little baby.
Pikachu. Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt Pikachu. You little bastard, listen to me. Starting up the game, we play as a small child, presumably us, who wakes up and remembers that today is the day. Professor Oak wants us to come out into Viridian Forest for a small test, using the new Poke Helper he invented, which allows us to communicate with Pokemon. The first few missions of the game are essentially tutorials on how to play. They're very basic. Moving the control stick will have you walk forwards and backwards, as well as turning in place left and right. The B button lets you examine objects while A will pick them up. The left and right C buttons will allow you to strafe, and then the up and down C buttons will let you change views to look at Pikachu or a more accurate first-person view respectively. The Z button allows you to speak with Pikachu with the microphone. So I was skeptical at first on how awful the voice recognition was going to be, but to my surprise, it actually sort of works. I'm surprised. I would have to say like 90% of the things I actually said went through properly. Now you just can't say anything to Pikachu because it can only understand so much. In fact, it can only understand a bit over 200 different phrases. I think it's like 256 or something. Sorry guys, this isn't like Seaman in the Dreamcast. But what exactly can you say to Pikachu, and how can you figure it out? There will be instances in the game's text where it will appear in red. This means you're able to use these words when talking to Pikachu. Don't worry about remembering them all. Every time you enter a level, it usually tells you what you can say. After completing a couple of levels, your mom packs a lunch to have with Pikachu. But Pikachu's a real dick and steals your lunchbox of food away from you. You track it down eventually, and this is where you have that quote-unquote anime moment. You know what I'm talking about. You see that Pikachu is just trying to feed these Caterpie, it feels bad, and then you feel bad, but then you say to Pikachu, "Come stay with me." You get all teary-eyed, you start to hug each other, it's one of those moments. But from that moment on, you and Pikachu become best friends. Actually, no, he's just a fucking squatter. He's sleeping on my bed after this moment while I'm stuck sleeping on the floor from now on. You serious? That's my bed. Little bastard. Alright, now it's time to dive into what activities you can actually do with Pikachu since it's now in your house and all. There aren't a ton of activities you can do with Pikachu, but a few of them also have different ranks and difficulties, so if you want a slightly harder challenge, you can play those. The first activity is a Pokemon picnic. Pikachu was invited by Bulbasaur for a little get-together to eat some weird concoction Bulbasaur has in store for us. However, he's missing a few ingredients and asks Pikachu to go and grab them for him. It's not super hard, but Pikachu tends to wander around. When Pikachu picks up something, you can tell him to bring it back to Bulbasaur or not. Don't try to bring back anything that wasn't part of the recipe or you won't get a happy ending.
Well, I tried, but
Pikachu doesn't want to listen. No matter what happened, I was never able to make a perfect dish. There was one time I needed to cook a sweet potato, and the only way to cook it is to let Pikachu use Thunderbolt on it. It just never worked out for me, because every single time, Pikachu would just eat it instead. Come on dude, we need it for the recipe. And there was only 2 sweet potatoes on the whole level too. So it's not like I can get more. None of them spawn back in or anything like that. I guess Thunderbolt sounds like eat it sometimes. Thunderbolt. No, don't eat it. God, you're such a moron. Why does he eat the fucking sweet potato? There's probably only 2 sweet potatoes in this whole fucking thing. And he ate them. You're such an asshole. I should mention this now. At the end of each activity, you'll find items worth a certain amount. You can use these in the Abra store located in Part 2 of the Pokemon Picnic. I was never able to access the shop itself. I found Abra in a cave, but I guess I need Pikachu to be with me. I couldn't get his fat yellow ass up the log, no matter how many times I tried. Pikachu. Over here. Oh god. You're such a pain in the ass. Well, I'm not gonna win this mission because Pikachu's a fucking moron. Look, I'm gonna eat the sweet potato. Next is simply called a field trip. You kind of just walk around and watch Pikachu do things like jump around or sleep. You can play tag with him sometimes or help him try to water the many oddish that are buried underground. Yeah, I couldn't really get Pikachu to water the oddish no matter how hard I tried. He would just hand it back to me and start yanking them out of the ground like an asshole. During this stage, however, I decided to try an old hoax. Apparently, if you say Sony or PlayStation into the microphone, Pikachu would get all pissed and attack you. Well, let's try it out. PlayStation. It just ignores me. PlayStation. He does get pissed. It's true, he does get pissed. Caring for Caterpie. In this one, Pikachu is tasked by Butterfree to keep the Caterpie happy while it goes out doing Butterfree things. This one you just sit around and watch Pikachu just spin around with Caterpie. Eventually they'll start to go hungry, which freaks out Pikachu. They'll run over to a tree for a rosebud. He can't reach them himself, but telling him to use Thunderbolt on the tree will help him get it down. That's all this mission has you do, just wait for Caterpie to get hungry and feed it. It's not super tough. Little Lost Poliwag. You walk around a dock and find 5 Poliwag and bring them back to Squirtle or Poliwhirl. In the harder version of this, there will be a Haunter flying around that could momentarily freeze you in place. It's not as threatening as it seems, but he did spook me the first time when I saw him because he was gigantic.
Oh shit. Haunter! Thunderbolt! Why is he so big? Why is he huge?
Fishing trip. Fishing is usually enjoyable in video games. Just ask my friend Sneaky. Pikachu will cast out a line and you either say reel it in or pull depending on how far away the fish is from the shore. There are several different Pokemon you can catch with varying sizes. This is the first activity I actually kind of enjoyed. It was fun catching all different sized Magikarp and Horsey and all that. The Piñata Party. You guide Pikachu around to help him try and hit a piñata. The voice recognition for this one works surprisingly well, but I honestly found it annoying to play because Pikachu will sometimes just stop and swing for no reason, which causes you to fail. I did well enough in this game to receive a harmonica, which I used to ride a Lapras to then go camping and eventually arrive at an island full of treasure. The treasure hunting is a separate activity after you unlock it here. You go around and find treasure, Pikachu will dig it up, and a sign will tell you on how to open the chest. It's pretty simple, but it's kinda neat. The last activity, and my favorite one, is the Pokemon Quiz. The rules are simple. Guess the Pokemon's name. If you get all 10 right, you win. Now I know all 151 Pokemon, so it should have been easy, but this is where that 10% rate of failure always comes into play. I've played this minigame several times and I could never get a full 10 out of 10. The max I ever got was 9. It's because this little yellow freak can't understand me very well. It's not like I got the names wrong. This shit is just rigged. Watch. Coughing. Fuck off. I said coughing. Muck. What? I said muck. It's muck. What do you think I said? Kingler. What do you mean it's wrong? It's Kingler. So yeah, that's pretty much everything you can do in this game. There are parts of the game I definitely missed out on, but honestly, I didn't want to play more of this. To be honest, the main problem I have with this game is that it's just boring. If you're a little child or a hardcore Pokemon fan, you probably would find some enjoyment in this game. For me, however, the only things I really enjoyed were the Pokemon Quiz and the fishing. Most of the activities were just boring. It needed more action in my opinion. Wouldn't it be cool if there were voice-activated Pokemon battles? As for an ending, the only way to get it is to reach 365 in-game days, which I wasn't going to do. You just say goodbye to Pikachu, but it fakes you out and it comes back anyway. Not worth spending hours just to get to that point. Overall, the game was just boring. The charm of talking to Pikachu wears out quickly for me. I think the game should have been similar to something like Monster Rancher. That would have been cool. Raising up your own Pokemon and having it fight, and then to finally reach the big leagues. I would have paid money for that. As for presentation, it's also not very good. It's probably better than Sword and Shield, but again, stop talking shit about Sword and Shield. The best looking aspect of the game is Pikachu himself. He's very expressive and is well animated. He can even be pretty cute sometimes, like this one time he fell asleep holding a strawberry in his hands. He fell asleep holding a strawberry.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
The other Pokemon you see are not as well as animated as Pikachu, and end up looking pretty stiff to boot. The environments don't look very impressive, and most of them are just empty with foliage or other things skewing around. It's just not that interesting to look at. The music, while it's not bad, it's certainly not catchy or memorable. The only one I do remember is the Pokemon Quiz music, but that's only because I played it the most. Pokemon games are known for having great music. This game just doesn't have that, unfortunately. Even crap like Sword and Shield has awesome music. So if you can guess my final thoughts right now, the game's boring. It's just flat out boring. For positives, the microphone was a lot better than I expected, and most of the things I said went through without a problem. Gotta say, it was pretty innovative for its time. I'll give it that. Pikachu was pretty well animated, and yeah, that's it for positives. For negatives, most of the activities were just boring. How many times am I going to say that? Walking around a dock and finding Poliwag isn't very fun if the only obstacle in the way is a haunter that barely hurts you. Frantically trying to feed Caterpie isn't fun because it's not hard to obtain food. I know it's a game for babies and I shouldn't be expecting super challenging stuff here, but just let me complain, okay? And while the voice recognition wasn't completely horrible, the times where it did mess up are just dumb. Especially since Pikachu will ignore your commands sometimes when it's distracted by other things. Even calling its name won't help. If you really want to check the game out for yourself, go for it. But it might cost you a bit to get both the VRU as well as the microphone. The game itself is dirt cheap. Only played if you really love Pokemon.
Well, I guess that's the end of that. I don't have to play this game ever again. Oh, hey.
Are you already done playing?
Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't left for me to do. I mean, unless I wanted to spend like 500 hours trying to get to the final few days just to get the true ending, which probably isn't worth it in the long run.
No, you gotta keep playing until you reach the end.
Yeah, right. Look, you can just go back up
Wait, put me
and
down,
hang
you
out
disgusting
with Mini
skinny
Mannequin
white
Man.
man.
How about that? Look at you guys. You guys are so cute up there, aren't you?
You're a real
Alright.
asshole, you know that?
I'm playing something different. Oh man, I can play Earthworm Jim 3D again. Oh, isn't this game great? See you later.
So I'm guessing your gift didn't go according to plan. Is that correct, boss?
Not exactly. He didn't break down like I wanted him to. He was just bored throughout the whole game.
So what are we gonna do now, boss?
I'm gonna have to find a game so foul and unplayable, he'll have no choice but to give in to me.
Where would such a game be, though?
Don't worry. I have a couple of ideas in mind.